Góðan daginn, happy Easter Sunday. Woo! This is me, Gunildur of the project. Wait, hang on. Project Pile. I literally forgot the name of it. Yes. It's been those kind of days. So anyway, Project Pile, because I have projects and they are in piles and they just keep piling up. This is my podcast about yarn, about knitting, crocheting, what I'm doing with it. What my plans are, what my cast downs are, what my finished objects are, and I am very happy to. It's so silly, but I finally managed to finish one thing, and it's the easiest thing. Of course. Look! I actually managed to finish the dishcloth. It's like, I'm happy. I've been a bit of a down a bit of a dump when it comes to like handcrafting. It's been like, I don't know, just been strangely tired and like listless and just like, oh. So hopefully I'm gonna be out of the dump soon. I mean, doing something like this helps so much. Like doing something and finishing something. It just feels good. But yeah, so this is the dishcloth I've been working on way too long. Something like this should be like an afternoon work for someone who like, you know, it's a little bit faster than I am. But no, in my defense, this yarn is a touch. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to work with, like, not at all. It's just really hard. Like, hard as in the fiber itself is hard on your skin. Like, now don't get me wrong, I love this yarn. I adore it. It is fantastic. I love the, like, the rags and this dustcloths that I've been making with it, but, it is, you know, it's not soft, like, I don't know. So I haven't made a lot of dishcloths. I really need to make more because they're fun. They're really good to like practice on, like how to do stitches. Like with this one, I need to make more because you can always use dishcloths. But like with this one, I finally realized why. Where do I find a good sample of it? But like here you can hopefully see what I'm talking about, probably in the orange. But you may notice that some of the supposedly straight stitches, they're like twisted, like the thread kind of like twists. And I could not for the life of me figure out why. Like it happened with my glasur sweater that I made out of the Merino Chunky from Ice Yarns. Like when I was knitting just in a round, fine, perfect, fantastic. My stitches were just fine. Not to trump my own horn, but they were just nice, pretty and even. But as soon as I had to do like these sleeves and knitting back and forth, every single stitch was twisted and I could not figure out why. Just made sure to make both sleeves the same and I'm like, why? And I found it's really working on this dishcloth, I've kind of figured out why. I talked about it before, but when I'm knitting, it's a bit embarrassing, I don't have a project that I can actually show you on. But basically the way that I entered like into the stitch, I would, this is annoying, but like when you're knitting into a straight stitch, right? Knit into a stitch and, you know, into one leg. I would always take the leg in the front. And I do that when I do the like knitting around and that turns out fine. But when I'm knitting back and forth, that twists the stitch and I didn't realize it until basically with this dishcloth. So I started to go just knitting into basically the back stitch, or what I perceive as a back stitch, and stitching like that, and then my stitches turned out a lot better. Like they're actually sitting pretty. Pretty and straight, because straight stitch should be straight. Twisted stitches actually do have their purpose. I can definitely see, like, maybe not in the project that I was making this sweater, like the sleeves for, but in a different project, like having twisted stitches in definitely could work out in a pattern, but not in this case. But yeah, finally managed to finish some. I mean, yeah, I have the ends, still have the ends to weave in, but that's a different thing entirely. But it's the yarn, it's the ice yarns, Cake's natural cotton from 100% cotton, and I will link this down below because I really like this yarn. It is so nice to work with. It is nice to work with. But when I was making this dishcloth, I was using a 3mm knitting needles in order to, get the enough tightness with the yarn. Or gouge, I think it's called gouge. Well, so that the dishcloth would look the way that I wanted it to, not be too like loose-goosey. But this is both a pro and con with this yarn. Is the fact that it is very rough, so it's perfect for like these type of dishcloths. But it's not very nice on your hands, at least not my hands. So I was finished knitting yesterday. I'm still a little bit red here, and it was pointed out to me that I could have put plasters on my fingers, like here where I hold the thread, so it like digs into my finger, and on this part, because this is the part where I always hold like the needle, so holding the project with. So I need to remember that next time I knit with something like this, but all in all, I made it through. I still have quite a bit of yarn left, so definitely need to make more this class. Just remember to put the plaster on. Any other projects I have not been working on? Like, Thursday, Friday, I was gonna do, at least wake up and do things. I did not. I've been sleeping. I have not been productive. And I don't feel bad about it because obviously I've just been tired. So getting some rest is also really good. So there's that. Now I have also been like thinking about what other project I will be making when I finish, like the lumpkin blanket, and when I finish the pera blanket. I'm not sure if that's gonna be a blanket though, because excuse you. Label fell off. Because I have still is so pretty. Like I have 6 of these skeins and I'm making it this long. So obviously, like, they don't have para on the Ice Yarns page anymore. But so I have these 6 ones, and I'm going to use them all into making this some kind of blanket, because at the very least it will be something to put on like the knees in like wintertime when it gets cold, or throw on a bed to make it a little bit more like jazz it up a little bit, something like that. And that's fine because the colors, like you saw, it's just the colors are so really pretty. So that will definitely work out in my advance. Like, oh, if ever I have a like gray sofa or something, like a nice dark gray sofa that you can just throw any type of color, like blanket or afghan or a pillow or anything, just throw it on and just works together, and that would be so really nice. I also have not made any progress on the noble cowl. That's fine, I will work on it some other time. So I have the lumpkin blanket, the pera blanket, the noble cowl, and I still have the wish shell to work on, plus the things in my project bag. Like, these are just things in the little basket by my feet, and so yeah. And I'm still thinking about what to make of like all the other yarns, and I've seen on clothing websites, because I've also been checking those out to see, you know, what's being, like, what are people buying, what are people wearing. There's like open, what did they call it, like open knit type of clothing. So basically you have something like this pretty yarn that is so fine and nice and fluffy, and I mean, admittedly most of the things that I was seeing were like cropped, because cropped is apparently still a thing. I don't like cropped things. Well, she says I haven't made cropped things. I like cropped vests and sweaters over like a dress or a long shirt, something like that, layers. Cropped things by themselves, not on me, but like this one that I'm thinking about, was this like cropped type of like halter top. It was really like vest kind of like halter top. It was really cute. It was like in a pale blue, and it had this like band. Yeah, that was like, you know, regular type of rib, but then the knitting, I mean, it was machine knitted obviously, but the knitting looked so cute. It was this like lacy open type of work, and obviously like the page didn't think about like, hey, maybe a knitter would like to take a close look at the knitting, so there was no close-up of the knitting itself, but it looked like kind of like almost twisted, and like the threads, they would like, I don't know how to explain it, but it ended up looking like a little bit webby, a little bit leafy. It was really, really pretty, and I'm looking, I'm like, it's nice and it's not expensive, but I'm not buying it because I could probably make it, and I definitely have the yarn for it and knitting needles, because you could definitely, I'm saying definitely a lot right now, but you could and you can make something like this with when you start off with like the band, and you start with, you know, small knitting needles that suit the yarn maybe better, like a 3 or 3.5 millimeter, and make the band, and then also like the halter thingies. But the main body, you would definitely make that, definitely a lot, that's annoying me a little bit, but you would be using a way bigger knitting needle. Like if you were knitting with like 3.5, then maybe with that type of open, like 5, something, yeah, maybe a 5 millimeter knit needle, and it would, I mean, in theory that would be a pretty quick work, but I'm not that advanced in my knitting technique. I know you can do it, it's just I have no idea how to do it. I can figure out the theory of it, but it's like, but how would I do it? But yeah, I'm still like, I looked at this whole top, it's really cute. I'm like, but I have better yarn. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't want to be a yarn snob. I'm not a yarn snob. But I'm just an imagination. Like, who have you seen the yarn that I have? All over the place. But the problem with a lot of commercial like knitted products, like sweaters and dresses and skirts. Like, I mean, this one is pretty good. Like, it still hasn't gone all, bubbly and annoying. This one is really good. Got this from ASOS, I think. And as I said, it hasn't done that annoying knitting thing of going on like in the fuss balls and all that annoying things. But really does tend to happen with commercial knitting. And I'm looking at that whole top. I really like it, but I'm also looking at it, I'm like, you're probably not made to last very long, so that would, that's not what I'm looking for. Like, when I'm buying clothes, I went from talking about knitting to buying clothes, but when I buy clothes, I don't buy them to just last one season. Like with a lot of fast fashion, that obviously people are like, what's the word I want to use? The worst thing about fast fashion is the fact that it is fast. It's not made or meant to last more than maybe one season, which is really, really, really short. Like, especially here up in the Arctic, we maybe have a summer for 1 week. That is not long enough. So when I buy clothes, I'm not thinking about trends. I don't think about what's in or what other people like. I buy things that I like and that I am ready to wear for years. I was actually thinking about this, like, I think yesterday. There are some items in my closet, like unmentionables and socks and t-shirts and all that kind of fun stuff, that have lasted me a very, very long time, well over a decade, way over a decade, and they get used a lot. So it's not that I'm just keeping them in my closet and never wearing them. I wear them a lot. They last and they get to last. So, but there have also been clothes that I've been buying that don't get the opportunity to last because they have not been made to, last. And that always annoys me. Like, come on, just, yeah. Anyway, I started talking about the halter top and I'm like, I'm still thinking about it, but I have such nice yarn. I have knitting needles. I have a lot of projects, but I could probably find, there's probably a pattern for it somewhere, or at least like advice. So yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I might try and make it, but it's really pretty though. But it's Easter Sunday, and I'm not an overly religious person. It's just isn't my thing. I respect other people's religion, and I will try and do my best to not be disrespectful towards others. I'm just not religious. I'm just not very religious myself. I mean, it's just a thing. But traditions are a thing, and Easter eggs. Easter eggs is something like, I don't know where they come from originally, especially not with the chocolate thing. But honestly, the best way to win over an Icelander is to offer them food. You give us food, you're probably gonna say a friend for us. Well, say our friend for a lifetime and beyond. But in Iceland, like, listen, chocolate Easter eggs, they're good. They're good. They're like, they're good. Honestly, the only foreign ones that I know of are British, and they're good. Nothing wrong with them. I mean, they're a chocolate shell, tasty chocolate, and they sometimes have like candy to the side, which is, it's fine, it's fine. That's just not how it goes in Iceland. In Iceland, the egg is a thing. I'm gonna start with showing you the one that my mother got me. It's a number 3, Noah. I don't have a number 1. Number 1 are the only ones that are Icelandic ones that are, I think number 2 does have some candy inside. And those, number 2 tends to be like, at least from Noah series, they tend to be shaped like a rabbit. And really cute. Number 1 are, yeah, they are the only Icelandic ones that are just the chocolate shell. With the most important thing. The most important thing about Icelandic Easter eggs. Excuse me, I need some drink. I mean, it's not just the chocolate. The chocolate is really good. And the chocolate is, and obviously the chocolate is important, but also with Icelandic chocolate Easter eggs is that we have one like this one, as a obviously really cute little tub. The inside has candy. It always has candy. If it doesn't have candy, people are like, well, then what's the point? You have you have this container. Put something in it. But the most important thing, is the sáttir. It is a slip of paper with a traditional saying or conventional wisdom. No, this is the first year that they come in like these cute little plastic bags. I'm loving it. Makes it so easy to open. Hello. Oh yeah. So, oh, it melted. Little foot seal melted. But yeah, most of the time the lid on the back is like that's well in, so you can't really open it. But this is one of the smallest one that you can get. And it's really good for like, if you don't feel like eating a lot of candy, or you're small and you really shouldn't be eating a lot of candy. So, that's well in. Aha, came out. So, with no serious, they always have this yellow piece of paper with a little band. And this is the most important thing. People will complain if this thing is missing. This, not the candy, not the chocolate, I mean, that's a nice thing. This is the thing that people are looking for. It is a tradition to see what, which saying you get. Because Icelanders have a lot of things to say. We have a millennia of history. There are a lot of sayings, like historical and traditional. And finding out what your, like, it's not like, oh, what are they called? I remember the moment ago. Now as soon as I open my mouth, the words will not come out. They just shove somewhere in the fucking my mind. It's not like a prediction for your future. It isn't. It's not like a prophecy for the next year. But they do often make good points. That is good to just keep in mind. And the one I got now, Þröngt sáttir sitja. And I remember correctly, that actually comes from Háamál. Originally, the original version. Þröngt sáttir sitja basically means, how do you translate that one? Þröngt sáttir sitja, hvernig það er, right, people who get together can sit tight together. Basically, it's like when you have no space, you can jam a lot of people in if those people get together. Þröngt mega sáttir sitja. Also on the other side, like if you have to sit like really jumped up to the next one, it is to your advance if you make yourself like maybe not your friend, like not his bosom buddy, but you know, just be the word I used just a moment ago and I cannot remember now. If you have to like in close quarters, be you know, I can't remember the word. God dang it. Sáttir, hvað var orðið sem við vonum að rétt á? But yeah, that's a good one. Really good one. Because obviously we are right now in a situation where people should not be sitting tight next to one another. Like, absolutely not. Like, But, you know, before and after, when this is all over and done with, there probably will come a time when people need to like be jammed tightly together, and then it's better to get along. Now, again, this is the Easter egg that my mother got me, and they usually is that she gets us some you know, something like small like this one, either number 3 or number 4. The number 4 was sold out. I also tend to give, you know, both myself and my mother and brother like a slightly large egg, and I was aiming for like a number 4 this year, but and I saw the specialty ones, and I don't have the ones obviously that I gave to my mother and brother. I forgot to take a picture, but the one I gave my mother comes from a company called Freya, and is the caramel, and I really like the one because the caramel that they used is one of their oldest, and when my father was alive, he really loved those caramels. Like, he loved them so much that his grandchildren called them grandpa. Like, his grandpa's caramels is so adorable. And the one that I gave my brother came from a third company called Goa. They also make really, like, all the Icelandic companies make such good. Just picking and choosing between these 3 companies is sometimes like, but yeah, that one I got him at the salt caramel. It looks so yummy. The one I got myself came from, no, it's serious. This one. This one has a bunny on top. Like, most of the time when you get like these Easter eggs, you get a fluffy, like a fluffy little chicken on top. For some reason I did not get any of those this year, but I really fell in love with this one because this is milk chocolate, which is not good for me. I'm lactose intolerant, but it's Easter and this is gonna last me a long time. But this one has salt, it has sea salt and pretzels. Chocolate with salt is so good. And obviously this is also gonna last me a long time. I'm actually not gonna open it right now because the small one is gonna be enough for me for today. And probably, yeah, if you remember, I'm still gonna put the ósáttir or the traditional saying down below, so I can at least share that one with you. But I've been rambling a little bit. I haven't even rambled anything about the eruption. Go me! But yeah, those news, that's still going. Last I heard, they actually had to, well, the police had to escort some travelers away to a safe location because they did not have their what do you call it? They did not have their COVID passes. Like, honey, we are in a pandemic. Just, I know this eruption is fantastic. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it is a siren's call to a human brain to come and see it. But we are in a pandemic. You have to respect that. You have to be considerate of it. Just for the love of goodness. That's all. That's all. No more about that. I'm actually going to, at the very least, go enjoy my chocolate, and then probably be sick in a moment because I should not be eating, but I'm still going to eat it. And yeah, I'll see about knitting today. I mean, there's no deadline on anything. That's the best thing. And yeah, maybe play some video games because I have not been doing that enough. So yeah, yay! But yeah, happy Easter if you celebrate it. Otherwise, happy coming of spring, because spring. Hang on. We had spring. Hang on. Make my calendar. Didn't we have the spring equinox? Yeah. The 20th of... English is weird. 20th of... Is it 20th or 20th? 20th of March we had the spring equinox. Yes. Okay. It will be on the 22nd of April. We will have the first day of summer. That's been so cool. That's only 2 weeks away. Traditionally, like, because we are the way that we are, the first day of summer here in Iceland is actually a holiday because summer! Like, listen, if you live this far up to the, the Arctic Circle, the fact that the world is getting like a little bit warmer, and you start to get like green grass and flowering, blossoms and just all the pleasant things. Probably gonna be a snowy day. Probably gonna be a windy, snowy, cold day, and we're gonna be lucky if we don't have snow up to here. But it's still gonna be the first day of summer, and oh, that's exciting. But yeah. So, as I said, if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. If not, merry coming of summer. It's good. Life is good. We have eruptions. There was an earthquake in Reykjavik this morning. Like, I'm on the opposite side of the island, so I'm good. I should be saying that, but it's a quakey zone. I get chocolate. I'm probably gonna be sick a little bit later on because I'm lactose intolerant, and this is milk chocolate, and I don't care. I do care, but I don't care. Like, same thing. So yeah. I will see you next weekend. Okay? Plus.